Oh, I forgot to unmute the game. Oops. Well, there we go. It should be working now. How long did that take me?
Michael, you said you were counting.
Like a minute and a half. So you went over time.
Did I?
Yeah.
Are you freaking kidding me?
You messed up, Limit.
Luigi! Huh?
Why can I not broadcast the game?
What do you mean?
That's weird. I should be able to broadcast the game on Discord. Why is it not letting me? Is this it? Okay, it is. Okay, you guys got audio, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, just making sure. And yeah, I gotta change the game. 1 second. Thanks for reminding me, Maniacal. Much appreciated.
It's a pink tornado.
Go, I'll update it. How do I skip this cutscene? Oh my god, why do you have to press B to skip a cutscene? But yeah, so I guess the rest of the night is just going to be me trying to figure out this minigame, so it's just going to be a podcast stream for the rest of the stream.
Do it first try, you won't.
Oh, do you think I'm going to do this first try like I did for Lighter? Dude, I am so out of practice right now. You think I can actually feel out the button presses?
Yeah.
No, I'm not getting it. I'll be real, even if I do this early, I have no idea what I would even do.
You go back into Hades.
I mean, I could. I'll be real, I kind of want to do a multiplayer night if I can get enough people, but I doubt it, especially on a late Tuesday night.
What would you want to do?
Mario Party would be fun.
Mario Party. I'd have to set up my Switch real quick, but I could do it.
Are you not streaming tonight?
No, I was taking today off.
Why is that?
I would have been. Right, because I can.
I mean, you can, yeah.
It's your stream, man. Do what you want.
Yeah. No, I just was like, yeah, I'm just gonna take today off. Also because like I had a lot of streams like over the weekend, I was involved with stuff, and then also the fact that like I got like stuff soon. Like the Jeff Keighley funny riffing show on Thursday. Oh boy, can't wait for that.
Yeah, I'm not watching that.
I'm broadcasting it because I'm stupid, so yeah.
I'll just catch the headlines as they come out.
Yeah, probably the better idea. Just like Wario64's Twitter.
Fuck you, game.
Yeah, I knew it. I knew it wasn't going to work first try. You thought this was going to be first try? Nah, you're crazy.
Oh, yeah, 85, it's fine.
Excuse me for actually thinking you had some worth in this life.
Damn! That was out of pocket.
You're the one who doesn't have faith in yourself.
So why are we doing this here?
I need 100 in order to get something.
Actually, I'm very sorry. I hope it didn't hurt your feelings.
I don't feel bad. It's funny.
I don't have feelings. Y'all ever read The Giver?
Wait, chat, say the most vile shit about Maniacal. It's okay that you can't feel anything.
He'll never be worth anything to anyone but his friends and family.
Michael's a doo-doo head? Dang, you got me.
The only one who will mourn him are those who care about him. which includes a lot of people if his stream summary for Twitch this year meant anything.
Yeah, people watch me. It's neat.
Yeah, Twitch recaps are out and people have been sharing that around. Everyone, like a few of my viewers were sharing like the people that they watched and I saw a few of them featured me and I was like, oh, you guys are too sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, I saw my name on like a fair number of them. I'm like, that's cool. It's nice to feel recognized, even though a lot of stuff I've done this year has been so that's lasted way too long. But that's okay, that's just how it goes. I love especially like 3 long projects back to back. Wow, am I a fool?
Did anyone clip the lighter reaction, by the way?
Not that I saw.
Damn it! I'm gonna have to clip it myself later.
Yeah, I could do that.
I want to remind chat again, getting clips are so helpful for me because it helps like get me recognized in like Twitch and other places because like I uploaded it to my social media. It also helps out like being able to post them in like I mean, I haven't gotten around to doing it, but I really need to get around to actually editing YouTube shorts for myself out of the clips, so they help for that. I also think that Twitch regularly shows clips all around, so, you know, clips are always nice to get.
Clips help us put our stuff out there more. Third did actually clip the lighter reaction.
Never mind.
Nice.
God damn it! I was focusing there because I was getting to the higher mounts. Yeah, this is going to take a while. This is definitely going to be a podcast stream for you guys while I mess around here. You know, what makes me smile is whenever I see people use my emotes the most, apparently. Like, I saw that Rainding regularly uses my Shantae Jam emote. Which I am not surprised about. Damn it, I pressed way too early. Limit is actually your most watched stream this year. Oh, Nameless, thank you. I really appreciate it, buddy. I hope that my streams have managed to prove entertaining for you, dude. What about you, Gaddy? Did you get your Twitch recap?
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised to see that most used your emote is your sip emote because I don't recall using it that much.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm surprised too. I thought it would have been like, you know...
Good.
Good, yeah. It feels like you use good more. That sounds really funny out of context.
I thought it would have been a good emote. No, it's a great emote.
You know what's annoying? Every time you hit the ball, there's a split frame of lag. Like, this game is not optimized well at all on the Switch, and when
I know.
And when it requires like split timing stuff, when you hit the ball, there's a split second of the game freezing, so it actually throws off your timing entirely due to that.
I think that for me, it might just be placebo because the hammer sound effects. But what really gets me is every time you hit it, the screen pulses in.
Yeah, I hate that too.
It's so distracting.
It's extremely distracting, actually. Like, I get it, it's supposed to highlight impact, but also throws off your rhythm so hard.
I'm telling you right now, man, there is nothing more annoying than this minigame in this game.
Damn it! Ah!
Man!
It's always in the 80s. Like, you think, oh, it's not gonna go that fast, so I can slow down a little bit, and then you slow down too much, and then you drop it. It's like, okay, I gotta speed up the next time, and you speed up the next time, and then you're too early, and it's just like, you gotta get into that right groove. You gotta get right into that groove, and then, like, if anyone interrupts you, you'll yell, you threw off my groove, and then your guards had to go throw Piglet out a window, and then you're like, man, look what you've done to me, Mario and Luigi. You threw out Piglet out a window.
Sorry.
We're saying, what's his name?
Dunkachino.
Dunkachino.
Don't mind if I do.
Have you ever watched that movie?
No. You want to?
I have.
No, I'm saying, do you want to?
Oh.
Well, we watched Transformers 1. Let's only naturally go to Jack and Jill next.
Yeah, Transformers 1, you know, the movie all about, like, you know, people being misled by a false leader and then having those who fall from grace because of their own blindsided, selfish hatred.
Yeah, Jack and Jill was kind of a wild movie, like when you describe the plot like that.
Oh, yeah, totally.
So have you not been like anywhere like past this point?
Nope.
I see.
We got, yeah, nowhere in the game past this point, but the highest we've ever gotten is 99.
I did see that clip, yeah.
I was so mad, dude. I was so mad. I was afraid to clear my throat there because I thought I was going to throw off my rhythm. Speaking of rhythm.
Yeah, so I saw the way that hammer was like, you gotta like ride like a really weird spot. I was like, oh, that's gonna, yeah.
I mean,
it's actually funny.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was about to say, it's actually funny because the hammer hitbox extends way higher than you think it does.
Yeah, like you see the people on the top right over there? That's actually how high it goes.
Like, look at that, their hammers aren't even touching the ball, and yet it's still going up.
Yeah, but like if you do it too early, you mess up like that. There has to be a way to cheat this, though, isn't there? Like, what if I, like, home scum it? Would that work?
I don't know what that means, but it probably wouldn't work.
That is to say you press home.
I feel like that wouldn't work, or just would just throw you off too much.
But what if I just mash the button really hard?
Keep in mind, you're using the X and Y buttons for this, and X closes the game if you hit it in the home menu.
Okay, but what if you hold X, and then you cancel out of the closing out of a game, but you're still holding X, and then you go into the game, and it triggers because you're holding X at that time period.
I think you're overthinking this.
Probably am.
Probably just a little bit.
Okay, I will say this. I did hear a strategy where they zoom in the camera like this so that they measure it based on like where they have it zoom in on this and like they basically have it so that whenever it touches the bottom of the screen is when you hit it. Like this.
This minigame really is the struggle, huh?
It kinda is.
I mean, I never use this feature because it's annoying when it in general gameplay, so I just did it the old-fashioned way.
This might actually help me if I just like if it touches the black bar, that's when I hit it.
Yeah.
That might help with the timing a little bit. Because that makes the frame smaller, so I can like time it a bit better. I swear to God if this works. Okay, it almost worked though.
Ooh.
Close.
It almost worked. It actually was kind of the black bar legitimately was working.
96.
Yeah. What did Piglet do to you?
Be old.
He threw off my groove. I'll say, hey, Silver, hope you're doing well. I can't tell if I should zoom in the camera more. What do you think? Do you think this is good enough or what?
Looks fine to me.
I think it's probably fine, yeah.
You got to 96 on this.
Yeah, true. What?
94 again.
Oh my God, it's always 94, man.
You're getting there.
But yeah, feel free to talk about whatever topics you want. I can like tune you guys out while I'm doing this. Just don't say anything that'll get me banned.
Nothing ban-worthy here.
Yeah, let's talk about all the games that we're not allowed to stream on Twitch.
Yeah, man.
Actually, is it okay to talk about games that you're not allowed to stream on Twitch?
Probably not like too like in detail, but like if I know people like read out like the Twitch ban list, and like that's usually fine. And I think it's just like you just can't stream those games. I think if someone talks about like let's say like Honey Pop briefly, it's like yeah, like you know the game exists, but just like you know don't play it on Twitch, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to see a stream of that game, other avenues exist.
Yeah. I mean, people stream on YouTube, but they actually can there.
Isn't it weird that they can stream those games on YouTube?
It is a little weird, yeah.
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm very sure YouTube still lets you stream it and or like upload gameplay videos about it. I think just like obviously like kind of like the nude mods. I think because Twitch, it's like they can't really like enforce if someone uses the new mods or not. So yeah, that's why they just banned the whole thing altogether.
I swear to freaking God! It's so weird to me that zooming in oddly makes it easier.
Whatever works, man. I don't think Nintendo expected their fancy Nintendo Switch feature to be used like this, though.
I don't think so either. The what jig? Yeah.
How drastic do you think the transition from the Switch to the Switch successor is going to be anyway? I'd imagine it would at least be like technologic, like feature-wise, it would be similar to the Switch.
I think they'll have new features like Miiverse and stuff like that. But otherwise, it's just like Switch 2.0.
It'll likely be like a lot of the same stuff, just like it'll run better. I would imagine that it will. I'm trying to think what else would have. Like it's like you mentioned, like a Miiverse, so there'll be like somewhere to like kind of post like videos and stuff online. Because I feel like a lot of games just don't really get that like. A lot of games don't really get the same publicity they once had. Back when you could like share stuff easily on Twitter.
Yeah.
The launch unit batteries will run so hot I can fry an egg on it.
You know what? I feel like that probably will happen.
That's why I'm contemplating holding off and like buying into the initial wave. I want to see how the launch units play out.
I think my biggest concern is how durable it is, really. Like, I just hope that it can survive long-lasting plays in the dock. Because that's me whenever I stream the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because I stream for like 6 hours normally.
I found an interesting crossover thing just now. Team musicians working together I wasn't expecting. Imagine Dragons and Auto.
What?
Yeah, I just saw on Twitter. It's like, wait, all right.
I don't know the second name.
Otto Zuda.
Uta. The thing.
Oh, Auto.
Uta.
Oh, Auto. I thought you said Auto.
No, Auto. Auto. The Switch is still a really good console. I just feel like we're at the point now where like a lot of games for it, like that release now, if they're on other platforms, I'm just gonna say, just if you have the means to get them on other platforms, just get them on other platforms, like for like a PS5 or like your Xbox or your Steam, if you have the option to, just get them on there. As I feel like we're getting to the point where a lot of like newer games just do not run well on the Switch, or even stuff gets delayed on it, like the new Power Rangers game. But I was also hearing the new Power Rangers game isn't very good, so I'm like, aw.
Yeah, I heard apparently all the characters played the same or something like that.
Which, that's so strange to like older Power Rangers games, them all playing the same, but it's like, oh, come on, guys, really? at least have like some differences. Like the Rangers all have different weapons for a reason. Maybe it was mandates by like the guys who own Power Rangers. I don't know.
Might not be Hasbro anymore because apparently they're trying to auction it off.
Yeah, I mean that's why we don't have any more like new Power Rangers series. Like Power Rangers is basically done.
Which is really freaking annoying, frankly.
I just hope that the Switch successor has more supplementary features, because I feel like the lack of supplementary features has hurt the Switch in the long run.
What do you mean by supplementary features in this case?
Like stuff like Miiverse and like a web browser or something like that.
Themes.
Yeah, themes.
Yeah, the Switch, like, having it made for themes, and it was just basically, do you want a dark mode or a light mode? And that was it. And like, man, that's kind of a shame. Like, I love the Switch, but I think its worst thing is honestly its main menu, because it's just a silent, like, just nothing screen.
I think the worst thing about it is the fact that it runs like garbage.
I mean, some games run fine, but yeah, some games don't run the greatest. Especially if the console's gone on. Yeah, Nameless Readers Rewind apparently is not very good, which is a shame. Like, let me read here, like, oh, go ahead.
No, it's not. You can wait.
No, you go for it. I'm looking for, like, what I saw earlier.
It's like I'm just saying, the fact that the Switch is underpowered is really showing its age in the long run now.
Mother trucker.
This fucking number, I swear to God.
It's always 94 or 97, I swear.
Yeah, so I'm seeing what Nick posted on the server. The TLDR, yeah, Steam reviews are mixed for Power Rangers. TLDR, every character's the same. Attacks feel slow, enemies are just faster and stronger than you, and there's also no online multiplayer currently.
I know attacks aren't like supposed to be hardcore snappy in a beat 'em up, but I mean, come on.
It depends, like, cause let me think, like, fast attacks in a beat 'em up, I think about like Scott Pilgrim, I think about, I guess Shredder's Revenge are pretty fast. Like, you can have some slow ones, like 3-3-H2 is like, the attacks in that one are pretty slow, but they still feel good.
Slow moves are usually reserved for high commitment moves.
So like if you were playing Max, for instance, or...
I don't know.
Max is like the big, like, bruiser character in 3-3-H2.
Like the equivalent of heavy attacks.
Ah, okay. Like the ones that cost health and all that?
Oh, I had to scratch something. Damn it.
Like they have long wind-up.
Ah, okay. Sorry, my mistake. I wasn't sure.
Also, they didn't say Rita's Revenge was bad. It was just, like, mixed.
It's just kind of mixed. It feels like a game that's like, this is probably one I'm going to want to wait on for like updates to make it better. Which I feel like it's kind of the unfortunate thing about games nowadays is that like, you're not just waiting on them. Hell, I was having this conversation like the other day with like people and like stream stuff, and like, I was thinking about like with the new console, like if I should just buy it immediately or not, because like, nice as it would be to have it immediately, day one consoles always have issues to them. So I don't know.
Something always lets by in quality testing.
Yeah, so it's like maybe I should wait. Okay, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So we're gonna do Mega Man Legacy, Castlevania Dominance, and Digimon Cyber Sleuth. See, Cyber Sleuth, I feel like of those like three things there, is probably the one that runs the worst on the Switch, because I've noticed like when I played Cyber Sleuth 1 on the Switch versus playing on the PS4 in the past, there are areas where the game starts to chug a little bit, which is unfortunate.
I mean, the issues I ran into with Cyber Sleuth on Switch honestly just feel like some weird stuff with the game, like your save file randomly disappearing on you when you go to save.
Yeah, that was so weird when I saw that. I never saw that on the PS4 version. I'm like, what the heck?
Thankfully, you could just save again and it fixes itself, but still, that's weird.
Like, the idea that, like, if I just didn't notice and, like, just losing entire save file because saving would just delete it for, like, a brief moment.
And And also the Wacko translation, which isn't exclusive to a version, but still, I love Cyber Sleuth's story, but it'll really take you out of some moments. I've contemplated getting a Steam Deck because honestly, most of my gaming this year has been on Steam, but I don't know whether they're coming out with a new model next year or not, so I've been holding off. Because I blame the smartphone industry for conditioning us to think we need a new piece of plastic with a supercomputer in it every 2 years. No, not even every 2 years, every 6 months.
I hate technology, legitimately, because it's like, it feels like they purposely made it so that everything needs to run on the highest, like, tech ever, otherwise it's just garbage.
I don't hate technology, I hate tech businesses.
Yeah.
It's like they try to sell you the most powerful shit, otherwise you're going to feel like you're inadequate.
Yeah.
It's why whenever they put out like some new like CPU thing, it just flies over my head. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I got like 6 like mega shits per tera flop or whatever the thing is. Like it's just, I don't know, man. There's just a lot goes over my head, and it feels after a point, you're just like, but my video game, I need to see like, you know, the highest ray tracing. I'm like, motherfucker, use this PC to play Minecraft. You don't need that thing running at like what, 240 FPS.
I mean,
like,
it depends on the game. It depends on the game, because like if it's something like games, Marvel Rivals or something like that, you need some higher stuff.
Yeah, some games, yeah, but some games don't really need that.
I feel like we've gotten to the point that people really need to stop going for high fidelity realism and particle effects and just be like, yo, can we just like make a stylish looking game that is just like visually interesting to look at without having to be like high like power wise?
Like, this is what I think of when I see like comparisons between like Red Dead Redemption versions or Horizon Zero Dawn versions. Like, we are getting diminishing returns the higher resolution we try to go. It's just maddening. We need to stop.
I like Horizon Zero Dawn, but like I think a lot of fans of this franchise, myself included, felt that the remaster was completely unnecessary, as well as the Lego game. Like, the Lego game was weird because like they had to make it more like, I guess, like silly, funny, kid-friendly kind of thing. So like, to my understanding, they gave like Aloy a real like obsession with like cucumbers or something weird in that game that like she never had before. I'm like, what are y'all doing?
That's weird.
I mean, if it's the Lego game, it probably did it as a joke. Lego's always been about the jags. I was about to say gag, and I was going to say jokes. The jags.
See, I know at some point the Lego game started doing like voice acting.
What? Have you never heard of a running gag before?
I am actually so tired. Like, not because of the game, I'm just tired in general. That actually made me, like, slow down because of that. I don't know, I just wish, like, technology would understand that the amount of money that they're asking out of people is way too much now, and that people just don't have the cash to fund, like, help, like, pay for these expensive ass games. Because, like, here's the thing, I feel like companies are thinking, oh, because we put more money into these games, we can get more money out of these games, right? And it's like, no, you got to consider what the customers can afford, and you need to consider what your budget is for those customers, because those customers aren't going to be able to afford that.
One of these days that people are going to learn that the American, well, not just the working class isn't as expensive, isn't as rich as they think they are.
Yeah, I'm actually, I'm just not thinking straight anymore, real talk.
Do you need us to just, like, be quiet, or?
No, go ahead. I just need to take a few deep breaths and focus on this.
Okay.
That is fine.
Remember to hydrate.
Yeah.
I care you much.
Thank you.
At the very least, in regards to games, I hope that Astrobot, with all the notoriety it's getting, really sets us sets us back on track. Despite the fact that it's doing what Mario has been doing for years.
God fuck it! It's always 94! It's always 94!
Man, this fucking number.
Always this number.
And also, I can't help but feel it's a little bit salt in the wound, because Astrobot lovingly celebrates its, like, history, with all these IP cameos, and yet it's not, this year, its stubbornness to admit that it actually has any IPs to use just leaves a little bit of a bitter taste in my mouth.
Ugh, damn it. I think it's more about, like, a lot of, like, people don't understand that a lot of CEOs who are in charge of, like, companies don't actually realize the creative process. And they don't recognize what people are actually interested in, because they just think, oh, this didn't sell well, therefore, like, if it doesn't hit a certain margin, it's a failure. It's like how Square Enix is always like, oh man, this game sold really well. It was deemed a failure.
The bigger a ladder you climb, the harder it is to look down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which, honestly, I get. Because, like, once you get a taste of success, it's hard to settle for anything less. At least for me, when it comes to my successes in streaming. Because it feels like I'm taking steps backwards. This is what happens when I talk too much when I'm doing this.
your attention is divided.
Yeah, basically.
Seeing in chat there, I did see today actually, they added Slide 2 and 3 to like the PSN store, and like also like a PS5 version of Jak 1, which if you actually own Jak and Daxter 1, the PS4 version, you get the PS5 version for free, because I redeemed that earlier. So I'm like, okay, I can probably just, play through the game again, because I like Jak 1 a lot. And at some point, now I guess I have a Slide trilogy, I could probably like pick those up at some point and play through those. Because I've always been interested in the Slide games. At least has to release the old Ratchet and Clanks for PS5. Because all I've played is like the PS4 one, but like Rift Apart looks pretty good. Apparently, like that's apparently like for the most part like fine just to play it like on its own with the knowledge of the other ones. I mean one for the PS4 one, which is like the one that's like the game based off like the movie, which is like sort of like a semi remake of the first Ratchet and Clank, but not really in some parts. It's weird. I remember when I played it, I recognized parts because I watched like Mario stream Ratchet and Clank 1 like years ago.
You know, if there's one game series I've always wanted to try out, it was the Sly Cooper games. I always saw the commercials for those as a kid, and I was like, yo, cartoon raccoon thief, and he is doing cool robbery stuff. I want to play that. But I didn't own a PlayStation, so... Well, no, I owned a PS2, but I just never bought it because, like, my family was poor. All we could afford was, like, one game. I was like, okay, if there's one game I'm picking up, it's Kingdom Hearts!
Hell yeah.
Anyway, you were saying?
For like the PS2, I know I like a bunch of Kingdom Hearts games. I'd have some like some licensed games on it, like some Dragon Ball and Naruto games. But for like unlike the those like big PlayStation series, I didn't really have like a lot of those when I was younger. Like the main one was probably just like Jak and Daxter. It was like I think the main one I had. Like I really had like God of War. I tried getting a PS2 kind of God of War at one point, but when I got it, it's like the disc. I remember opening up the case, had a big like circular scratch in the middle. I'm like, okay. I let the seller know, like, hey, here's like a photo of what happened, or like, what's up with this? And I tried to see if it could work. Did not work. The guy's like, oh, okay, that's actually really bad. I'm so sorry about that. And so he just like refunded me the money. And it's like, it worked out. He just refunded me basically. He didn't really offer me like, maybe he just didn't have another copy or something or what. I don't know. But yeah, I got the money back for that PS2 God of War 1.
Where'd you get it?
It was like from an Amazon seller. Which, buying used games from Amazon is always a crapshoot, honestly. I feel like I'm more inclined to buy like older games from like eBay nowadays.
Yeah.
Like that's how I got my copy of Transformers Devastation. That game is really good. I think I got it for like, I think $50. I think my logic at the time was just, if I don't get this now, this is probably going to start going up in price. And I think if I look it up nowadays, a few per copy, Transformers Devastation goes for, yeah, I'm starting to see actually, yeah, it's definitely expensive now. It's up to like the 70 range, 75.
Ugh.
Yeah, some sellers are selling it for like way more. So I think I knew in that moment, like I had to get Transformers Devastation before it started to go up, and I'm glad I did.
Guys, still I'm tired.
Yeah. I should probably check my account, see what stuff I have bought in the past. So looking at the stuff I bought in the past, it wasn't too much I bought off like my eBay account, but like I saw like I bought a copy of, like Sonic Colors and Sonic Unleashed on the Wii at one point. Trauma Center Second Opinion, Kirby's Epic Yarn, and yeah, Transformers Devastation was like $43 I spent on that. So yeah, pretty good considering it's like a little over 70 now for like a used copy. I don't think I really bought too much on there. I think I really like wanted to grab. Like, I don't know. I got so much stuff I already have already. I don't really need to be, like, grabbing new things, it feels like.
I would normalize spending less, except it's the holiday. I need to spend money.
I am trying to figure out how I can purchase new fingers.
What happened to your old ones?
I don't know, but they certainly aren't working right now. Man, if there's one thing that goes first when you get older, it's your reaction time. Guys, what does it say that the older I get, the more I'm starting to realize I can't 100% games because I don't have the dexterity for it anymore? Yeah, I don't have the dexterity anymore. I can't even get up to 90s anymore. What's wrong with me, guys? Something's wrong with me.
I mean, you're tired? You've been doing this for a bit, honestly.
I'm also, I'll be real, I didn't sleep well.
Don't like that.
I know, but I gotta do this. I've only been streaming for an hour. I got plenty of time. Because, like, even if I accomplish this, I'm not going to progress any forward in Mario and Luigi, so I got nothing else better to do right now.
We could switch to Hades.
Not switching to Hades because that's tomorrow.
We could go back to Zenless.
What's to do in Zenless?
I don't know.
You could put down triple Z's and catch some triple Z's and go to sleep like Namus said.
Or I could just, like, close the camera and try and do this without it.
You could.
Fuck it, we ASMR sleeping stream.
Sleepy, 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 sleepy.
Donate 80 bits to give Limit an extra pillow.
Why 80?
Because it was the softest number I could think of off the top of my head.
It features an 8, and if you put in 2 zeros and another 8, you get boob. So that is a pretty soft thing. Hang on, let me pull up a video really quick. Just the thing that I saw that gave me suggestions. Oh, so someone asked me to drink earlier. I forgot. My bad. Sorry about that, Wolf. Bachan. Water, please. Thank you.
I'm here for a little, divine intervention.
Whoever dropped those 54 bits, thank you so much. That is extremely kind of you.
Thanks, Silver.
Okay. I think I got it.
Well, it's technically 2 zeros. Just need to add a 1 somewhere in there.
That's correct. I'm just trying to line this camera up properly. I really wish I didn't press that button by accident.
And I love Game Boy Advance Mario games because all of them come practically all of them come packaged with the original Mario Bros in there too. It's a really nice distraction.
Okay, this should be lined up properly. I'm still drinking. Oops.
Yeah, I guess you could technically just do this one-handed.
How'd you realize I was doing this one-handed?
You said you were drinking.
Yes, that's true. I was also trying to shut off Botchan.
Unless you grew like a second pair of arms. Or
Okay, I'm gonna do something
telekinesis.
stupid really quick. I'm going to change my controller settings really quick. Give me a moment. Okay, so L and R is now going to be... This is going to be so annoying. Why? Okay. Let's try doing this on shoulder buttons. Well, you know, assuming this actually functioned properly.
After limit drink infinite amount of water, they become hammered. Oh my lord.
Okay, I just had to adjust this properly. Okay, so L and R will now be X and Y. Maybe this will be easier rather than using my thumb.
It's not cheating. It's not cheating. Luigi logic uses L.
Exactly. If it's allowed in the game, then it's allowed for real. Ain't nothing in the rulebook say we can't remap our buttons. Oh, I pressed that way too early. Mother trucker.
Some would also say it's fair game because the game remapped Luigi, some of Luigi's magic actions in battle.
The problem is, like, Luigi's confirm is still A, so if you remap A to B, that means you still have to press B for Mario. I am so mad because you know what happened? I friggin' blinked. Why did it have to be with so fast that if you blink, you miss the timing? Mother! Liminality Carb, thank you so much for 5 gift subs. Appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for the 5 gift subs to Mighty Kestrel, Kestrel, Duo 1998, Xerus, Speaking of Jinx, and the Iridescent Void. Appreciate you, dude.
It's Duo 1996, but still.
6? Oh man, can you tell how tired I am? I thought a 6 was an 8. As long as the 8 doesn't look like a 0, I should be fine. God. I don't know, do you guys have any suggestions or tips at this point? I don't even know what to do at this point.
Not really.
Aside from just moving on.
Nigel, do not tell me to move on. Your suggestion, you give up. You did. You know what? The funny thing is, I'm kind of half tempted to ask what it is, but I don't want to know, because you know why? If I actually do this and we find out what it is, it'd be funnier if I just reacted, oh, this was so not worth it. So, don't tell me what it is that I get for this, but I'm curious.
Gaddy, did you do it?
Yeah, I did.
In 30 minutes.
It's not like I didn't have trouble.
Good.
Man.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
thought that was the run.
I just didn't want to say anything.
Neither did I.
I feel like I have to go into a zen-like state. A zen-like state that only tennis players can grow into. Or those who can do racquetball. Not racquetball, what's it called again?
Tennis?
No, the other
That's
form,
amazing
like,
to
you know,
hear.
where you hit a birdie instead of you hitting, tennis ball.
Golf?
Huh?
Well, yes, golf. Famous for using equipment known as rackets.
Well,
Yes!
You know.
No, I'm pretty sure you're thinking of badminton.
Badminton! That's what I was thinking of. Yeah, because the thing you hit is called a birdie, if I recall correctly.
I believe that is slang term for it, though. I'm pretty sure it's called a shuttlecock.
That's lewd.
I knew you were going to say it. Can't say a sentence here without getting it. Dab 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 dab.
Is that so?
Well, the love a dub, is that true?
Pecky desu
Wow, you go, big guy.
Those for the fans.
I don't understand the timing for this. You're not doing anything wrong. You probably noticed the game drops. Yes! Okay, so I'm not the only one who thought that. Michael confirmed it. The game absolutely drops frames. I knew it.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Michael, thank you for actually confirming for me. I thought I was going crazy.
Like, I think it's especially noticeable the moment the ball spawns.
It's particularly noticeable whenever it drops frames and causes you to miss input because it just eats your input. Ah! Okay, that's just me being bad because I'm mad. Let me stretch out my hands.
Don't worry, this made me mad too.
It took you 2 days to do this? Okay. The true curse of Mario RPGs on Switch, frame rates on 100% blank challenges, right?
Yeah, that was my issue with, like, I mean, Mario RPG had something similar to this, and I was like, nope.
The jump
Well, I mean,
challenge, yeah.
Well, I mean, the Pit of
Yeah.
100 Trials wasn't bad. And you did that twice.
I mean, that's not as bad, because at least it's not like, just, you know, oh, if you, like, you know, mess up one specific input, you just, like, have to start all over, like, for the pit, you know?
I mean, there's also the fight against Prince Mush, and he's, like, all about trying to perfect parry him.
Yeah, but Prince Mesh doesn't have the number 100 attached to it.
Imagine if there was, like, a Glitz Pit 100 round challenge.
I would eat that shit up. All your opponents are randomized.
That'd be fun.
That'd be cool.
Yeah! Aya! 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 Jackie! One more thing! You must hit the ball at the right time! Hammer must defeat Hammer. Ball not important! The stream was late. The Zenless Zone Zero section was way too short, and my fingers are getting tired.
Do you want to move on with the rest of the video game? Yes? No? Then hit the ball on time!
Yeah, hit the ball on time, Jackie.
You can do 100 super jumps in Super Mario RPG while drunk. You knew something was weird here. For real, for real.
This is what actually gets Lemon to start drinking.
Video games.
Nameless, you should have been with me and Limit for like the past 3 months because we did nothing but watch Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yeah, during our free time, we were like, yo, let's watch Jackie Chan Adventures to chill with. We watched all 5 seasons of it and we finished it like last weekend.
Mostly a good show. The last season was a little bit of a clunker.
We were also really mad because it's like, why is there a dragon talisman inserted to random shots and episodes?
Yeah, that was a really weird thing about that season.
I see a dragon talisman in my dreams.
There's a dragon Wait, hang on. You know, I screwed this attempt. Hang on.
I'm going to kill you. Is it possible to like track an image on like an element of the screen? You can just like track a dragon talisman over this fucking ball.
One sec, guys.
I'm glad you helped me remember the name of the Spice Gang because I forgot. It doesn't. I can't help it if the enforcers are just peak.
The enforcers are just so good. I love Ratso. I love Finn. Chao's okay.
I love Hak Fu.
Hak Fu's cool. One sec, guys. I have to look for it really quick. There it is. Okay, where do I put this? Where should this go? Yeah, right here. I'll put it right over there. Perfect.
Never mind that I'm watching your Discord broadcast of this, so I'm not seeing the Dragon Talisman.
No, but everyone else is going to be like, why is there a dragon talisman on your stream?
Feel my pain. What if somebody got sub badges and the sub badges were all the different talismans?
Yo, that would be so cool, though.
Then people will say when they go up a badge tier, and they have the talisman they don't want.
What if I made it so that, like, the order of the talisman were the order that they got them in the shows? Like, the first month would be the Rooster Talisman. The second month would be the Snake. No, the Ox Talisman, and etc., etc.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Be cool.
Which I mean, typically, the pig would also come last.
No, it'd be Tiger.
Okay, yeah, I think you're right. It's just going to be very funny because the pig was the last to arrive in the Chinese Zodiac.
Yeah, that's true. The Enforcers were just Team Rocket. Yeah. And yeah, the show ran for 5 seasons, but season 2 specifically was like 35 episodes or something like that. Every other season was only like 13. Oh, so yeah, I was the one who did that. I was changing out the controller settings because the L and R was not working out for me.
That is valid.
Season 3 is my favorite, with the focus on Dalon Wong and the talisman powers, because the comedy just took a real step up.
I actually looked into the TV tropes page for Jackie Chan Adventures because I was curious. Apparently, Dalong Wong is everyone's least favorite villain.
That makes sense.
But because of
Dalong
that,
Wong-
that made it so season 3 was a lot of people's least favorite. And I was like, yeah, but the writing for season 3 is insane!
Like, it's insane how violent they could get with the slapstick because the Enforcers were demons.
Yeah, so they can, like, do all kinds of crazy stuff to them, and then, like I think at one point, Ratso had a house dropped on him.
It's so funny.
It's crazy.
It was funny.
You wanna hear that? Limit rebels on other people's pain.
Didn't realize that every time I pointed and laughed at you whenever you lost at Mario Party.
Time for an all-out attack!
Oh, that is some awkward timing.
Bowtie Gaming.
Okay, now I can actually acknowledge you. Yo, Gabby, thank you so much for your raid. Hi, Captain Joe. Hi, everyone. How is Echoes of Wisdom? Hi, everyone from Gabby Stream. The name's No Limit. I'm a variety streamer that plays with games that they never played through before. That being said, though, tonight was supposed to be a Fire Emblem Three Houses night, but I got sidetracked by real life stuff that kept me busy until now. So I was like, okay, let's go do some other stuff instead. And right now, I am struggling to complete this mini game in Mario Luigi because it's all about timing. But unfortunately, there's freaking frame drops during it because this is a poorly optimized Switch game, and therefore causes me to have my inputs misinput. So, you know, a typical Nintendo Switch game. How's everyone doing?
At least it's not Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
At least it's
Yeah.
not Scarlet and Violet. At least Scarlet and Violet isn't like asking you for split time reactions like this is. But yeah, Gabby, if you guys gotta take care of any post-stream stuff like get water, get food, get some rest, go sleep, do all that good self-care stuff, do what you gotta do. Thank you so much again for the raid. I will not be able to directly respond to comments for a bit while I'm doing this. Maniacal and Gaddy is here for that.
Yeah.
You know, if they want to. No!
Damn it!
It always happens! happens! It always happens! I get so excited and I press it early! Why do I do this myself? 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 Ah!
I'm so mad.
You were close.
I got excited! I got way too excited. You were close! Ah. Clearly, I just need more people to raid me to fill me with inspiration, love, determination, execution points. What? Now I know how I felt when Kaido lost to Luffy. I'm getting my ass kicked by cartoon characters.
Just taking that down for posterity.
Don't apologize, Gabby. Like, I don't care what terms you use.
It's okay, Lim. We both know comedy when we see it.
Limit casually spoiling One Piece.
Man, it's a good thing we already caught Nick up.
Yeah, but Nameless is still, like, trying to get to Orlong Park. Mother trucker! I had it! Why am I so incompetent? You're on episode 5 for the second time? Good luck. Honestly, I think it's better to just read the manga instead. You seen the thing you're talking about, the scene specific is spoiled by See, that's why, I'll be real, I hate that it's spoiled for everyone. It's one of those big scenes that people just, everybody knows about, which is why I kind of casually mentioned it. But I hate the fact that everybody knows it. It's like the whole, without me going into specifics, Final Fantasy VII.
It pains me that, like, so popular social media platforms don't have, like, dedicated spoiler block functions, despite the fact that people online make such a big deal out of it. And it doesn't feel right using workarounds like sensitive content or like warnings like that. It just feels like disingenuous.
I especially hate the ones that are like, spoiler warning, ... and then they say the spoiler. That doesn't actually block the spoiler.
I mean, that's typically what I aim for, but I don't like doing like 1 or 2. I use like 15 or 20 dots to make sure that like they're not scrolling by, it accidentally gets spoiled.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you're scrolling through Twitter, you might be scrolling down to up instead of up to down.
Yeah.
So you would be seeing the spoiler first before you see the spoiler warning.
I put some of the blame on desktop Twitter on that regard, because sometimes it'll refresh and then it'll start like a few paces down, scroll down.
That. Or the Ocarina of Time spoiler, or the Xenoblade 2 spoiler that was spoiled in its trailers.
Or the Fire Emblem Awakening spoiler.
What? Like, what? Marth?
Yeah, that's supposed to be. That's the thing that's kind of be a. What is it? It's not until like halfway through the game, and it's like kind of going to be a big thing in the game, like who Marth truly is.
Okay, who actually believed that was Marth though?
I mean, like, you don't know who that character is otherwise if you haven't played the game before.
True.
Like, without any prior knowledge, it's just like, oh, if there's someone calling themselves Marth, otherwise I don't know who this character
Would
is.
you say Dark Pit is a spoiler?
No,
Not to the
Dark
same
Pit-
thing.
Dark Pit shows up in like chapter what, 6 or 7?
I think it's like chapter 5.
It's like Dark Pit is really early in Uprising's story.
Yeah.
Okay, but Hades is a spoiler.
Hades is absolutely a spoiler.
Yeah, so Hades is like the same like length of the game as like Lucina of just like halfway through the game.
Yeah, but everyone talks about him.
Yeah, I know, because the games have been out for long enough, and some games are weird about just like, well, if it's been out for long enough, we can just like openly talk about it.
Same thing for Verini. Verini shouldn't exist either. Hey,
Also-
David.
Also the Smash effect, of course, where if it's there, it's not really a spoiler much anymore.
Oh yeah, like, you know, the freaking big chapter 1 spoiler for Xenoblade. Or the
I'm
later
listening-
spoiler about another character.
Well, actually, that's the thing. They never. Well, the chapter 1. Actually, it's not even chapter 1, technically speaking. I think it's actually like chapter 2 of Xenoblade 1. Because the only one chapters are weird. That's not really referenced like talking about in the game, but like there's a later thing. It's weird.
Hey, David, thanks for the reminder.
That's right, I forgot Project Cross Zone 2 also does the Xenoblade thing.
Yep.
Well, to be fair, it came out like they wanted to just pair up that one character with Cosmos, and I'm like, you know what? That's pretty cool. Oh no! My headset broke. I tugged on my cord. Hang on. I can fix it. Give me a moment.
Yeah, it's more of a chapter 10 spoiler. Like, that's the thing. It's not really a chapter 1 thing. It's more of a chapter 10 thing. And again, also, it's not even chapter 1. I think it's actually technically chapter 2 of Xenoblade 1.
Okay, there we go. Fix my headset.
Nice.
I changed Windows and I completely forgot about the Dragon Talisman.
I like how no one in chat acknowledged it.
Dragon Talisman was combustion, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
A little bit of an overlap with it with the Pig Talisman, honestly.
Keep beam eyes. Keep beam laser eyes. You want the dog talisman? The dog talisman is like one of the best talismans just from a practical standpoint.
Honestly, the rabbit always felt the most practical to me.
Rabbit's just like the best one because it's just super speed.
Yeah, but if you're immortal, you can like do whatever you freaking want.
There's
Oh,
also
right,
what you can do with that.
Alright, but if you're immortal, you still need to pay for gas money in your car.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, but who's going to astral project?
astral project into the minds of all the terrible people in this world and give them nightmares about the horrible things they've done.
That'd be lovely. Ugh.
To quote Megatron, I want them to suffer.
Daddy, no. We gotta be better than that. We can't have a peaceful resolution if we start off violent.
I'm not saying to be violent. I'm just saying I want to cause a little mischief.
Just a wee little bit of mischief.
It's just karma.
Is it karma if other people inflict the karma?
Listen, do unto others as it. Listen, treat others as you would want to be treated.
I agree. But legitimately, I have no idea if karma is like something you just let life happen or you do it because like sometimes karma just like happens to you because like people are assholes or good people or whatever. Ah! Jackie! Fetch me the Dragon Talisman! I'm blowing up this machine! Karma's a diva version of divine intervention. It'd be suck to be immortal. What if you got buried in cement and forgotten? Well, that's why we turn into a magic puppet, and whenever construction workers come in, and then they dig us out, they're like, oh, hey, we should pull their leg. And then you're freed. And then we turn all the volcanoes into cherry jello.
You awake from your puppetry-induced coma to find that 50 years have passed. Nothing is the same. All your friends and family have moved on or have become old and decrepit or are dead. Your home is gone. You have no. Your identification is out of date. You are functionally and ideologically alone in the world.
You're thinking of horse.
The horse of existentialism.
Because you're healthy like a horse, that's the joke. And I don't know why dog is immortality, I just think it's cute. It's because dogs will never die, because they are our best friends forever.
So you want to take a load off after you finish this? Devin's cashed in for a Dr. Source fact.
Yeah.
And also, I think David wanted you to stretch a drink.
I did one earlier, didn't I? Okay. I'll do another one. Ah, okay. I'm also sick of this song, by the way.
And now Twisty Island's music is engraved into your mind.
Oh, Dr. Source, I see you found a dragon talisman. Won't you use that now in order to give us a fun fact about Mario and Luigi partners in time? Mm-hmm. Well, she's telling me right now that, A lot of people were big fans of Jackie Chan Adventures over at Alpha Dream. Yes, indeed, they were. And they were like, okay, so we wish to tell a fun story all about people collecting various items in order to overcome a great evil. And they were like, okay, if we're going to do that like Jackie Chan Adventure style, how should we do this? I know, let's turn all the bros attacks into items, just like the talisman. So now everyone can feel like they're embarking on a fun journey like Jackie Chan in that show. And that's why all the items and why all the bros moves in Mario and Luigi Dream Team are, not Dream Team, Partners in Time are items. And if you don't believe her, take her word for it because she's your source. Thank you, Dr. Source.
I didn't mind the bros moves being an item, but I get why it's not like not as good for some people, or why they don't really prefer that decision. Rather,
I don't mind it too much.
Partners in Time is also my favorite Mario and Luigi, which I know is probably not the most popular opinion, but I remember just really liking it.
I like it because you get to control both Mario and Luigi and the babies, where it's like you're making full use of all the buttons instead of just B and A.
Yeah. Also, there's some really fun items. I always remember the trampoline being really good.
Yep.
It's alright.
The only thing I have issue with is that it gets really hard way too quickly, and the final boss has way too much HP.
Oh yeah, no, the final boss is an absolute like sponge of health.
Yeah, I feel like that's way too much at that point.
So I think it was actually changed for the English release versus the Japanese release, I want to say.
I think it was less, wasn't it?
One of them has less. I'll see which one.
It also ends on a whimper and not on a bang.
Yeah. Oh, right, I forgot about this form. Hang on. Sorry, there's like the actual final boss that I don't even consider the final boss.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about that. Let's see here.
Everyone always blocks it out of their mind.
Yeah. Oh, I can't tell which is supposed to be like one release or the other. I'm going to assume the US release is the one that had more health, maybe? I'm not 100% sure.
I think the European one was less health.
That sounds right.
Like the PAL regions, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so European and Japanese releases had lower health. So in the US version, Phase 1, 3,500 health, European, 1,800. Power 130, changed to 210. Defense 130, changed to 150. Speed 62, changed to 100. And then the Phase 2, HP 3,000, changed to 2,000. Power 140, changed to 230. Defense stays at 140. Speed goes from 64 to 70. Legs, HP 400. European release 500. Power 140, European 190. Defense 140. Speed 64, European 50. So the speed of the legs were lowered. On tentacles, HP 200, European 350. Power 140, European 200. Defense 140, European 126. Speed 64, European 70. Crown, HP 200. Power 140, European 0. Defense 140, Speed 64, European 50. So while she has less health, I'm not gonna lie, I think she might actually be a little harder. She does a lot more damage. Like, she has more power, I'm noticing here. Like, sometimes, like, her attack is buffed by, like, what, 80 or, like, 90? 50, 60? Yeah, no, like, she gets way more, like, power rather than just the HP differences. So I I don't know, actually. Both, I think, have their fair share of difficulty. I may even argue that, like, despite the lower amount of health, the European could be harder based off more damage. I don't know. I haven't played Europeans. I don't know for sure on that one. European. Also
I mean, here's the
Japanese.
thing. Mario and Luigi can dodge all the attacks.
They can, yeah. That's probably the big difference there. Like, if you're bad about dodging, then, like, yeah, you'll take more damage, but it just rewards good gameplay and just has less health overall. That's probably the better thing about it.
My eyes are ticking back and forth like it's a freaking cuckoo clock.
There's one of those cat clocks that has one of the eyes going back and forth.
Yes. Okay, my eyes need a rest. Hang on. Ah! Ah! I've been doing this for too long. Like, you gotta train your eyes for this, otherwise you're not gonna be able to do this. How did you guys do this, for people who've done this? What's your secret?
I honestly just felt it out.
I got to 99 twice, Gaddy. I think I felt it out.
Thing is, I'm more acclimated to like rhythm-based gameplay than you.
You're not wrong. Even increased speeds?
Yeah.
I also think I'm overthinking it because, like, I've done this for so long now, I can physically think about my thumb moving back and forth rather than just, like, you know, naturally moving it back and forth. Yeah, see, I was thinking there. I was thinking way too hard about don't forget to swap thumbs! Don't forget to swap thumbs! Don't forget to swap thumbs! And I was like, no, I'm not supposed to swap thumbs! I'm supposed to swap my buttons! Ah! And then my brain, and I get all caught up in my brain because I got them OCD brain where it's like, don't forget to do this, don't forget to do this, don't forget to do this. Everybody else has ADHD where it's like, oh man, I can do this in my sleep. And I'm just like, man, I wish I had that superpower. I have to overthink every single little thing I do. Yes, I am not, I understand the ADHD people have their own issues, but me, I got issues too, and I wish I can turn off my brain. Not to say that ADHD people turn off their brain, but comedy.
I need to get you to play a Rhythm Heaven game sometime. It helped me understand rhythm a lot better.
I played Mega Mix.
I started with Fever.
I own it.
Fever is what I consider to be the best in the series.
I will pay money for someone to do this for me. Because I am slowly draining. Help women turn off their brain by posting Mithra. Damn. You figured out my one brain weakness. Hot
Post the
blonde
Smith-
women.
Post this Mithra if you don't think.
Mithra is my simpleton, after all. It's so funny to me how everyone is so sick of seeing artwork of Mithra and Pyra.
They're just everywhere.
I wouldn't
This
mind
is a
seeing
bad-
other Xenoblade girls. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but they're not as popular.
They really aren't. I blame the Smash effect.
Oh, it's 100% the Smash effect. Yeah, because people who've never played Xenoblade saw them in Smash and just like, oh, these girls are really pretty.
Yeah, that was me with Samus. Like, I legitimately didn't know Samus existed until Smash 64.
Yeah, same for me. With like characters like Kirby and Fox.
I think I knew about Kirby, it just didn't register for me. Fox I knew, but I also didn't register for me that he was a character from Star Fox, if that made any sense. Because that, like, when I think of Star Fox, I just think, oh, I'm flying a plane and shooty. Like, when you're a kid, you barely register the dialogue between the characters, and I was like, I didn't even think about, like, the fact there's talking in Star Fox. Man, why does people really like Mario and Luigi Brothership? It's literally just hitting this ball back and forth the entire game. Kind of boring. Like, this could have just been an online, like, Flash game if Flash still existed.
That is a rude statement against Flash games. Flash is the GOAT.
I miss the Flash games. Why did they get rid of Flash anyway?
I couldn't. I'm not that experienced enough to tell you why.
Could not tell you.
It just reminds me of an era of web design that is long gone. Back where all the fun was.
Back when kids could actually like place on the internet. Can't have that nowadays.
And didn't have to run the risk of running into content they really shouldn't see.
I hate that kids are running out of online spaces that are, like, kid-friendly for them. What happened to CartoonNetwork.com? What happened to Nick.com? What happened to DisneyChannel.com?
Does Disney Channel itself even still exist? I know Disney XD still does, but Disney Channel?
It still exists.
It's like I hardly ever hear anyone talk about Disney Channel anymore.
You might be outside of the age demographic.
Absolutely, but like,
I mean,
I feel like there
yeah.
would be at least some newspapers that would talk about it every now and then.
remember when we were watching the DComs and the last movie we watched was Under Wraps 2 with the on-screen gay kiss between two guys, and we're like, yo, let's go.
Popped off for it harder than anything else in that movie.
I know, right? We were like, yo, why wasn't the first gay, like, unironically, the first male gay kiss between characters for my movie marathon from the beginning until now? The only one was freaking Under Wraps 2, a Disney Channel original movie.
It's in the sequel to the Silly Mummy movie.
That was a remake of the Silly Mummy movie.
I don't get Disney.
Oh, I get Disney creatives. I don't get Disney the company. Mother freaking! This is what happens when I get distracted talking about gays.
Walt Disney, your dreams come true, except when they're outside of our business endeavors.
Oh, what's that? You want us to pay for, like, the fact that your wife died on our premises? No, we're gonna sue you instead and lose millions.
That Alex Hirsch tweet is still aging like fine wine.
It's amazing that Alex Hirsch is still getting work at Disney despite all his criticisms.
Always pour one out for my man. That man is doing God's work. I'm never going to forget the series of tweets that Alex put out regarding the amount of changes he had to contest in order to keep Gravity Falls running. The amount of emails and complaints he had to sit through. Fuck you, game!
I'm done. I'm so fucking done. I'm done.
101.
I'm done. I'm done.
You're done.
I'm
You're finally done.
I'm done. Only took me 2 hours. Okay, let's think about this here. Zenless was the first 30 minutes of the stream, so an hour, 30 minutes. Combine that with the 2.5 hours from the last stream, so that took me
3.5 hours.
It took me 3.5 hours. No, 4 hours total.
Thank you!
Good.
Lindea, thank you so much for the gifts up to Mike L. I really appreciate it.
Thank you!
Slowpoke Party! Dun, 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 dun. Slowpoke Party!
Yo, are you trying the hammer challenge? I heard it's pretty rough with the frame rates. No, leave me one smug.
Thank you for the $2, Agami. I really does appreciate it. Does the counter not go past 99 on that? No, it doesn't.
It does not.
Okay, I see the dramatic song reading. We will do it momentarily. I just gotta see.
Luck Charm DX. I know you can't equip it now, but this is worth it.
Increases your chance of getting a lucky by 2 times. Okay, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, slap that on Luigi and he'll be getting luckies like no one's business.
Yeah, no, that's valid. It's just... Do you know how angry I am right now, Gaddy?
Yes, I know.
The irony. The freaking irony.
Zenless Luck strikes again. Now hit that save block so you don't regret this later.
If this game crashes during a save, I am going to lose my mind.
We could explore the rest of this island, like, next time, I guess.
We'll explore it next time. But we got a song reading to do first, chat. You had to go for a while. You're back. Nameless, we did it! We did it! It took us... After combining last stream's hours and this stream's hours, it took me 4 hours! It took me 4 hours! Ah! I've paid my dues, time after time. I've done my sentence. but committed no crime and bad mistakes. I've made a few. I've had my share of sand kicked in my face, but I've come through! And I mean to go on and on and on and on. We are on the cruise. We are the champions, my friends. And we will keep fighting till the end. We are the champions. We! You and I, we are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. Ugh. Alright. Well, now what do we do, guys? Because I'm not continuing further for this because I'm saving this for Friday, but what are you guys feeling?
I don't know, I just wanted to see you get this done.
And you swear this is the hardest thing to have to worry about?
This is the most annoying thing that you have to worry about.
Okay. Good.
Like, it's my opinion, there's nothing more annoying in this game than this.
Oh yeah.
Well, what do we do now then is the question. I don't know. Maniacal, are you still in the call or did you hop out? Looks like you're still in the call anyway. Obviously, so unironically, David, do you want to play Mario Party or is it too late for you?
Hey, Mario Party de-stress sounds nice.
No, unironically, I'd be down for some Mario Party if anybody wants to play right now.
I don't have the game, but I mean, I can enjoy watching you relieve some stress. Approaching Rainforest Island.
I've seen that message like 10, 20 times now.
Which Mario Party?
Jamboree, thank you for 2 bits. You can party? Cool. I can't guarantee the hotel Wi-Fi. Oh no, never mind, David. Right, you're in a hotel right now. It's all good. What can we do then? Let me think here. I said Mario Party Jamboree, didn't I? The problem is I need to get more people. People who aren't on, you know, hotel Wi-Fi. Hey, do you know? Let me see if I can hit up some people here.
Nick is down.
Nick is down.
I see eyes emoji in chat.
Okay, so we got Maniacal and Nick. Let me see if I can head up anyone else here.
Good night, Dirt Dog.
Night, Dirt Dog. Oh no, multiple people are interested! Oh no! See, this is what happens when you add a co-com room. People are like, "Oh, Mario Party, Mario Party." They're a Shark Tank of people. They got a drop of blood. You must now battle for it.
Alright, get these, find lads some weapons.
Capitalism how?
I don't have the new Mario Party game yet, so here's a Mario Party gift instead.
I mean, that's not a Mario Party gift, that's actually Reciteer, but thank you so much for $10. Really appreciate it, Shadow. Thank you so much. And if you ever pick up, like, Mario Party, definitely, I wouldn't mind opening it up for people.
Hey there. I think this is the first time I have not been on this stream in like so long, dude. It's weird.
Listen to Nick and all of his crystal clear mic goodness.
It's so weird hearing Nick have a crystal clear mic.
Also, yeah, I think this is the first stream I've actually been on with this mic. That's how busy I've been. Like, not even just here, just like in general. Or no, I think like one other, but yeah.
Sorry, looks like it's either Xeno or Time Thief, and it looks like it might be late for Xeno, so I'm trying to, like, talk it out with everybody at the moment.
Thank you, David. I've had this headset for like a month now, or at least like 2 or 3 weeks.
I have returned.
Yeah, what?
I have returned.
Yeah, welcome back. Looks like Time Thief might actually be joining us. Assuming that he responds.
Add him if you need to.
I added him, so I'm just waiting for him.
Yeah, Nick's on a pretty good headset, honestly, with his mic quality, all things considered.
Yeah.
Could be worse.
Okay, Time Thief is taking his sweet time to respond. Well, while I'm waiting, I'll go swap out the game. I'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
I should do the same.
I should buy things in my Plaza.